In this video, I'm going to discuss with you something that no one likes to talk about, but it's really important. How to deal with haters. My name is Veronika Edali. I'm a CEO of a modest activewear brand, Fifth Generation Apparel, a content creator and photographer. I've been through the trenches of entrepreneurship, and now I'm sharing my story. I'm here to empower and help you work towards your dreams. Whether that means becoming a successful entrepreneur, up-leveling your mindset, or creating impactful content online. I create educational and motivational videos full of practical advice for women who are ready to have more control over their lives and are looking to follow their true passion. If you're ready to learn, get inspired, then listen up, my friend. Of course, we all want to be loved and admired and appreciated on social media. But the reality is, and I like to call it the ugly side of social media, is the fact that there are people who will hate on you and the work that you do and your business, no matter what you do. And I know it's not always easy to handle. So stay tuned as I walk you through my experience and how you can handle the haters. Let's talk about what is the actual effect of negative comments on social media. Whenever you post on social media, especially if you have a larger following, the reality is that you will receive a little number of negative comments. These negative comments will vary in severity and impact. They can be something as simple as a disagreement with your opinion, your lifestyle, the way you dress, the lipstick you use. Honestly, I can go on and on. Or it could be something more serious like hate speech or death threats. Negative comments on social media can have a variety of effects. It affects negatively every single person involved. The person who actually leaves a negative comment, a second or two later, might feel a regret and remorse for their actions. The person who left the comment may not care what people have to say about their comment, or they might feel that they have the right to criticize you and your work. They might follow an opinion that you chose to be on social media and you expose yourself and you should be okay with that kind of criticism, which is okay in theory and makes sense in theory, but it's not very logical in practice because you are still a human being and things can hurt you on social media or not. Others may notice the negativity. They might feel that they need to respond and argue back on your behalf, which creates a big storm of negativity, and it just goes on and on and on, affecting even more people in the process. And of course, if that's happening on your page, that can be off-putting when it comes to potential people who want to connect with you or to purchase from your business. But of course, seeing negative comments like that and seeing hatred on social media can stop other content creators from posting their content, because they might wonder what would happen to them or how people will perceive their content and their views and their perspective. Why should they bother posting anything at all? As you can see all around, the impact of negative comments is not good. As it comes with the territory. It may affect more than just the content creator themselves. You might look at a negative comment and think to yourself, well, I would never do that. I would never say that to another human being. So let's have a look at why people actually leave negative comments. The truth is, people leave negative comments for many reasons. They might be having a bad day. They might just not agree with what you have to say. They don't like your product or service. Sometimes they don't like it without even trying it, but never mind. Maybe they think that your content is not worth their time or it hurt them in some way. Some of the other common reasons include things like they might be venting and letting their steam out and pouring their negativity on you, but in fact, it might not be even related to you in any way. They might feel a little bit angry about the contents of your post or your video. They might not agree with what you have to say and they want to let you know. Or they might be just doing it as a form of entertainment. And of course, it's the fact that negative comments always get more attention than positive ones. So that could be their way of stirring the pot and trying to get your attention. So social media comes hand in hand with people just wanting to voice their opinions and be heard, whether you're a content creator or a person consuming the content and leaving negative comments. This is their opportunity to voice their opinion and their disagreement with your content in a public way. When people are hating on content creators, there might be so much more going on in their life that we have no idea about. And this is their way of claiming control that they feel like they may not have. When people see something that is against their views, their beliefs, their lifestyle, they will lash out. But it's also important to remember that negative comments are not always bad. They are simply voices of people who feel like they need to leave their opinion on your content. So it's important for content creators to learn how to use social media as a tool and not as a weapon. If as a content creator, you're not careful about what you're posting online, you might even attract even more hate towards yourself, and no one wants that. And by no means I'm saying that, the way people feel about your content is on you. Sometimes people will have problems with your content regardless, but as content creators, we also need to be mindful at how we're phrasing things and how we're delivering the information, because our goal should never be offending other people. We should create from a space of positivity and come with good intentions. There are different communities out there and people belong to different communities. For example, the fact that I am covering my hair, some people might not agree with that. And I don't want to come across saying that me choosing to cover my hair is the only right thing to do and what I'm doing is right and everybody is wrong. No, I need to come across and communicate it that I believe that it's the right thing to do for me. So the way you phrase things matters. So you have to be careful with how you present the information, especially if you are talking about a controversial topic. Whenever we receive a hate comment or a negative comment, we need to actually analyze it and see whether it's actually hateful comment or it's a constructive criticism that we could probably learn from. That's why it's important for us to respond from a rational space and not jump at negative comments, feeling all wound up and emotional. That's not gonna lead to anything good. As soon as you read that comment multiple times, and that will help you determine the nature of that comment. Sometimes we also read things the way we want to read things, and we see what we want to see, and it's impossible for us to read the tone. So we might take it a lot harsher than maybe the commenter intended us to. That's why it's important for us to be a bigger person and take those steps before we respond. So how do we actually handle the negativity we receive online as content creators? Social media has the power to help lives and unfortunately destroy lives as well. Cyberbullying is very serious, and it's absolutely devastating how it can hurt people who are being cyberbullied. The best way to prevent cyberbullying is by educating people about it and learning about the ways it can be prevented. First of all, as a content creator, you need to learn how to remain positive. In other words, you need to refrain from posting anything negative about yourself or others on your account. You need to be mindful and think carefully before you post something. It happened to me today. I received a very interesting comment on TikTok, and it was kind of about the fact that I became Muslim in a Western country, in a non-Muslim country, and that I'm delusional, that I think that I've made the right choice. So it's kind of like, who do you think you are? And I'm actually planning to record a video, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin it in a positive way. I'm not actually going to address the person who left that negative comment, but I'm going to spin it in a positive way and say that you don't need to conform and that you don't need to be mediocre, especially if it stands in a way of your true happiness, and that yes, it is the right choice that I made for myself, and that also make a point that a Western society is supposed to be an all-embracing and all-liberating, and you have the freedom to be who you are in the Western society. So, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit cheeky with it, but the purpose of that video, I want to encourage women who want to convert or start wearing the hijab, to encourage them that the negative opinions, they don't matter. They don't matter, because you need to focus on your happiness and you need to live your life authentically. So that's how I want to spin it. So I'm not actually addressing the negative comment. I want to spin it in a way that there is beauty in doing whatever you want and living your life authentically and only caring about your own happiness, because haters are gonna hate. You can do nothing and haters will still gonna hate. So here's an example. You just have to, even when you are responding to negative comments, try to spin it in a more positive way. And once again, when you are posting about certain things, like on previously on TikTok, I had to reply to a question whether transgender people can see my hair, whether trans women can see my hair or not. So I had to think really, really carefully how I wanted to address the topic, how I presented it, and what words I used so that I wouldn't offend the community, LGBTQ plus community, because this is not my intention. This is me simply living my life the way I believe is right for me. But I really didn't want to offend anybody, so I was very mindful of how I phrased my answer to that question, just to make sure I didn't offend anybody in the process. Let's put it that way. Also, as a content creator, only share things that you are comfortable with sharing. Share the things that you would comfortably share with a person you sit next to on a plane and strike up on a conversation. Share those things. You don't have to dive too deep or, tackle any issues that are way too personal to you. You can keep it surface level and don't even dive there. Sometimes it's important for us as content creators to answer more challenging questions and talk about and discuss topics that might be considered a little bit taboo. We find ourselves in those situations as content creators quite often, which is fine. It comes with the territory. But remember that you don't owe anything to anybody, and you are in control of what you share and how you share things about your life. So just don't think that you owe every single person an explanation about why you do what you do. So yeah, that helps a lot. And of course, there is this thing that I love to do is delete and forget. You need to learn how to delete and block and not waste your time on comments that are simply unkind. Bullying is serious. Cyberbullying is serious. And sometimes people and content creators who are cyberbullied, it might be affecting them in the way that we can't even comprehend. They might be going through something vulnerable in their life, and receiving extra hate online can just make it very, very hard for them. We forget that the person that we follow or the person who stated something that we don't agree with, that they're still a person with feelings and emotions. And it's also important for us not to post from an emotional space. So if you are a victim of cyberbullying, you need to come out and seek help. If it's affecting you, you have to come out and seek help. I know sometimes we're like, what? Cyberbullying? Just, forget about it. Block, delete. Sometimes it's easier said than done. It can be affecting you and you can't even comprehend why it's affecting you. You can't really find that cause, why it's affecting you so badly. So you need to come out and you need to ask for help. You need to maybe take some time off social media if it's damaging to your mental health. There are many resources out there. I'm gonna look for them myself. I'm gonna leave them in the description below, so that just you're not alone. But what I'm trying to say is that bullying can be prevented, and it should be prevented. A lot of social media sites, they have guidelines. You can report comments, you can report accounts, you can block accounts, you can filter comments. I actually did that on TikTok. I actually put in some keywords that whenever a commenter mentions those words, those comments will automatically get blocked up, or they'll go in a space where I don't have to see them, and I don't ever go to that space personally. So yeah, I used some obvious Islamophobic keywords that I just know that if a person uses those keywords, all they mean is, hate and negativity, and I don't have time for this in my life. So on TikTok, you can actually do that. You can filter the comments, and I highly recommend doing that. And of course, when you are receiving threats or you're receiving something that is so hateful towards you, take the time, report the account. They might get taken down, they might get blocked, and you go and block them because you don't need to see that. You just don't need to see that. So let's talk about the ways you can respond when it comes to your haters. There are a couple of ways you can go about it. You can thank them for voicing their opinion and just approaching it with grace, like we all should. Honestly, negativity never comes from a happy place. And when a person's going out of their way to hurt you, it most likely means that they are hurt themselves, because hurt people hurt people. So we can just wish them well and send them on their way into the space where they can be blocked and they don't need to come across your content ever again. If it's a negative comment that is simply disagreeing with you and you feel like you can explain further and, defend your point of view, you can do that. But once again, make sure you're not emotional about it. Give people facts. Of course, if you feel up to it, remember you don't owe anything to anybody. But if you feel like you need to elaborate further, maybe you should. Just make sure you are kind in your response. I know it's easier said than done because it sucks when you have to deal with negativity and then respond in a kind manner because that's just unfair. But hear me out. You don't want your comment section to turn into a cycle of negativity. You don't want that. You don't want that storm. You don't want the wars and the comment wars going on in your comment section. You don't want that. So if you're going to respond once. If the cycle continues and they just don't get it, block and forget. One comment from you was enough. And if they try to see your point of view, they'll be like, okay, we can agree to disagree. But if they carry on just being negative and hateful, it's not worth your time. Forget, delete, and block. And my favorite approach is, of course, 99% of the time is deleting and blocking and forgetting. This is what I do because I'm such a busy person. I don't have time. I don't have time for negativity. I have 2 kids. I have a business. I have a husband. I have a life. So when someone doesn't agree with me or says something hurtful or something silly and just going out of their way to hurt me, and I just don't have time for this. So I'd be like, you know what, just delete, block, forget about it. And that's probably the best approach. But once again, you need to really look at those comments, filter it out, kind of put them in a category, and then decide your course of action that way. But remember, think logically, not emotionally. So I'll finish off on a positive note. A recent study has showed that for every nasty comment, there are about 25 positive ones. So as people, we tend to notice negativity more because none of us want to be hurt. So when that happens, we need to shift our perspective towards all of the positive comments that we're getting of people who are vibing with that content. And that's what's the most important thing is because we are creating our content for those people. They are our people. They will benefit from our content. People who are not your people, well, you can't be everyone's cup of tea, period. So you shouldn't try to be one. And like I previously mentioned, hurt people hurt people. So you don't want to hurt them even more trying to engage with their comments. Just ignore them. Trust me, it's the best course of action. You don't want any negativity in your corner of the internet. It's important to understand that a person who is leaving negativity in your comment section might be going through something traumatic in their life and they feel out of control and they feel like them lashing out on you at that moment in time is going to make them feel better. So it simply doesn't make sense for us to get angry back at them. It will only make the situation worse. So I rambled a little bit in this video, but it's okay. I got everything I wanted to talk about. I got it all out. Let me know what you think about negativity on social media and hate comments. Are you a content creator who is dealing with a lot of hate comments? What do you do to handle the negativity online? Let's have a conversation in the comment section below. Anyways, if you found value in this video, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, comment below, let me know, share this video with someone who might need to see it for the sole purpose of learning how to handle the hate online. And in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to my channel right here. And if you want to see more from me, check out these videos over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.